seem more comfortable had been the fact that they get easy team fighting, right? We're talking Amumu, we're talking Misfortune, you pair them up together. Great stuff from the bot lane as well. Brands on the Seraphine looked a little more uncomfortable. He's this 18-year-old AD carry who's just been having the split of his life, first split even, right? So of course that makes sense. But also seeing Tinones on the likes of Zoe, having comfort on your mid laner when he's going up against Humanoid is going to be quite pivotal.
Absolutely. As Victor even getting banned there, Humanoid not going to get his hands on that one. Kalista also taken away. Seraphine actually going to be shown some respect alongside Hecarim on the Fnatic side.
I think that's interesting, but I also think jungle champions, now that Hecarim has been taken away, kind of puts Graves or Croc at least up in higher priorities. Early jungler to skirmish with. Croc likes to be aggressive. He's also one of the catalysts for the early game to succeed, especially for Loud, who has tendency, despite having a really good bot lane, to play for solo laner and especially Rob up in that top lane.
Yeah, and I think if we can look at Fnatic and be like, where is maybe the place you try and get ahead? I mean, in general, people always cite the early game because it's kind of the most controllable part of the game. But Fnatic have been a little loose in some of their early game and mid-game decision-making. So if the windows are given to Loud, they can capitalize.
I'll throw it out there. They've been inting some of the early games. You're very kind about it. I'll show you. I think Wunder, you saw it against Detonation Focus Me, had a bit of oopsies there. They're trying things out. They're feeling themselves. They're still strong in the mid to late game, but for sure you would like to see them iron out some of the mistakes that we have seen in the early game. But then again, you had subs come in, you had different players, new voices, different voices come in, and that's most likely what caused some of these issues. But for now, with Aatrox being up and available, that's of course what Loud is going to default to with Robo in that top lane.
Yeah, Wunder going to feel pretty comfy with the counter pick, knows it's coming. This is kind of a trade that's happened a lot. Haven't seen that much Caitlyn come through, and upsets Caitlyn feels very scary.
I love that, and there's so much versatility that they can do with this Caitlyn down in the bot lane in Europe. They were the first one to bring out the Caitlyn Renata composition as well, where you could just hit your Q Renata. Upset doesn't have to hit the trap, just throw it down, and then Hillisang will drag it over on that trap afterwards, which this is one of the lanes we've already seen EG bring out with, at least with a Caitlyn. You have to take control of the bot lane. This is your win condition in the early game where you get pressure, you get plating, and you start rotating an AD carry who's ahead of the gold around the map to win your trade. So it's quite pivotal that Fnatic gets this bot lane going now, at least.
Yeah, Sejuani also been very popular, been banned quite a lot as well, so happy flex here for Fnatic to take, although expecting it for Wunder. I feel like this happens a lot. I mean, Sylas is very good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like people are also just terrified of Humanoid Sylas.
Yeah, it's a good takeaway pick, and honestly, on 3 here as well, if you're not looking to secure your AD carry like Misfortune, Trundle would be a good shout as well, because no matter where that Sejuani is going to go, you would have at least the ultimate to take care of it. But he's going to handshake that, assassin matchup in the mid lane and say, you know what, I'll pick the Akali into your Sylas. Take that one away from me, I got you another one.
So I said Humanoid has been the player that has so far impressed me the most at Worlds here at Played. The other player you threw out when we had this conversation was, of course, Zeka, who's been incredible on Akali specifically. So kind of fun to now see one of the other champions de jure of the mid lane in the hands of one of the best performing players.
Absolutely. I think for Humanoid as well, this is just showing a very different style in terms of champions you're able to bring out. The first champion was Victor, second was Sylas. Now you're bringing out the Akali as well. We've even seen the LeBlanc too, so just such a big ocean coming through with the champions already.
And every lane, as you saw from stats, if you're paying attention at the top of show, has been pretty ridiculous, so we'll see how it happens here. Luck's still going to get banned away. Perhaps even that Renata that you highlighted also taken away, wanting to try to take the sting out of whatever Hillisang will play here.
There's quite a few things you can go for. You can still go for the full send and then pick Leona as a takeaway on 4.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, for sure. So they don't get the Misfortune with the Leona. It does leave the Amumu open. And I think that's really what they're looking for from the side of Loud. They want more team fighting tools. Right now, they have good damage, but they lack solid engage. And that solid engage will probably have to come from Seosh in that support position. So let's see how it rounds out. Fiora, though, has been left open, and Wunder is actually going to take that. This creates a very interesting dimension already from Fnatic, because usually with the Caitlyn, you want to give her all the resources. But when you have a champion like Fiora as well, you don't mind giving her resources as well. And this can create points of attack from Loud at least, where Fnatic won't be able to bandage all the positions they sometimes would have been able to if it had just been bot lane they needed to prioritize.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of power in the top side. It's also Sejuani plus 2 melees, even though Akali operates quite a bit differently. But still plenty of synergy here, and you have to think a pretty self-sufficient bot lane. The Amumu is here. This is what we expected. Of Of course, that's what Fnatic expected as well.
Yeah, I think there's two things that Croc could look to go for here in terms of the team fighting they love. Either it's the Wukong, we see him default to it, although it's not as prominent as other junglers, it's comfort. And I think what really makes sense here is that trundle as well, getting it into the Sejuani, taking away the resistance. But in terms of champions that has also made
the tree!
Exactly. The moment on the world stage so far, it is the tree, and of course been very prominent in the jungle.
You were, I think, the first...
I love the tree.
You were the first tree enjoyer of the broadcast.
I mean, Maokai, ever since he was just playing in that top lane, he's so satisfying to watch. His attack speed when last hitting minions, it's superb. But also just in terms of what he does for a team, he gives you so much intel just by throwing away saplings. You don't have to face check. You create zones where you don't have to be worried about flanks. And when you're playing into the likes of the team composition Fnatic has, where there could be a flanking Sejuani, could be a flanking Akali, well, these are great.
I think I trust Sejuani. Oh, Croc's not having a good time at all. Also,
wow.
Fnatic's bot lane is moving. Has to smite the Crab early. In a spot of bother, Crab goes down, but now Croc still low alongside Razork. Wait, Hylissang also in trouble. Razork still taking damage. I think Loud have got it. They have. It's first blood over, but the donation's complete. Tinunzo zooms in for a second, and the third could be on the table. Upset, gonna get just that under his own turret. No, he'll barely live.
2 for 1 in favor of Loud. They're starting out very aggressive, and it all comes from the two junglers just 1v1ing each other. Love to see this from Loud. We already...
The melee vs melee matchup.
Yep, so replay coming through once again. Initially, this looks really good for Razork. And we hold it for a second. You can see it in the picture-in-picture. They may be looking for a gang, but not having the intel. No, backing off. But yeah, it's the fact that we see first moves from the mid lane as well. It's the fact that you have that Maokai passive keeping you alive. And when you get that extra Sustain to play around with, that just means that Fnatic health bar, they're just going down. While from inside of Loud, they're kind of going up, and that just allows them to go for these longer extended team fights, which is really not good for Fnatic.
Yeah. Again, a battle for the Crab. Razork in trouble, only level 5. Humanoid here, though. Stolen ulti out of Tinunz. Robo roaming down first. Razork just going to be left for dead. Very nice play out of Loud.
Get down to Drake, so you're just going to have to respect the fact bot lane get
Bot
aggressive.
lane 2v2. Hylissang even with the unbreakable up is very breakable. Seos landing the bandage shots on top, but it's going to force the flash out of Upset.
There you have it.
Already happened.
Yeah, and I mean, all the way back to the drafting phase, Fnatic decided to go for a Caitlyn very early into the rotation. They saved last pick for their support. It ended up being this Braum, and you can see how it kind of works with the shield against the Misfortune ultimate. It kind of spares Upset a lot here when it finally comes out. Wait for it. Oh, he's just CC'd through all of it, so there's actually none of it getting blocked there, and it forces Upset to get out of this situation afterwards with the flash as well. So great stuff from Loud, and once again, a little bit of a wacky draft. Oh my lord! You get the objective, got a few platings in the mid lane. You have so much priority to work around with.
Love this play here. Flash ulti out of Razork. Knows the brand's just burnt the flash. Hylissang setting it up. He's 2 steps ahead. Seos with the watch there. Now the bullet time gonna turn it back around. Seos barely gonna die. But the double kill comes through for Brands.
And it looked good for Fnatic, but immediately Croc comes around, shot down their dreams, their homes, and ends up with a double kill for Brands with a double up on the Misfortune Q.
Gotta be careful. Robo still fighting Wunder here.
Scared of.
And now you know Razork with it here. Humanoid deep TP. He's been unleashed. Going for it now. Is Hilly gonna try and lock up Brands? That's a great target to get. Shuriken flip lands. That's all you're gonna need.
But you give the shutdown over to Hylissang. You have a Caitlyn who wants the goal. You have the Akali who wants to get ahead of the curve. And unfortunately, in a 3 versus 1, Hylissang picks up that kill.
Also, Harold going to go over to Razork as well. Fnatic going to win both sides of the rift off the back of Humanoid's TP. Wunder fighting Robo. TP coming in. They've actually given up the objective. Now they're just going to fight. Razork getting knocked up there, but here comes Tinunz. Steals the ulti. Sails around the back. There we go. Curse of the Sad Mummy is popped, and Robo's going to get the kill. Razork getting flashed after. Tinunz already popped the Sedge ult. He hijacked as well, but here's Tinunz once again to lock him up for the second. And the Sejuani might be tanky, but it's not enough for Robo.
And that is that first move from Sheosh on the Amumu as well. They spot them on the bot side. They say, you know what? We get man advantage on top side. With resets on top side, maybe potentially forget that mid lane off Loud. But we see it here on the top side. It's Fnatic getting aggressive with Wunder and Razork. And if it's a 2 versus 1 against Robo, yeah, sure, that makes sense. But the real MVP of this play, well, that is Sheosh on the Amumu, finding the Fiora into the curse of the Sad Mummy. And it's just done and dusted afterwards.
Nicely done. Razork flashes, flash follow. And an easy cleanup here as Silas roams around the backside.
We'll get there eventually. Whee! The nose. Yep, there we have it.
Robo collecting all the gold as well. Feeling pretty good.
Gap as well. It's the only bot gap we got on the arms.
Top gap, bot gap.
Oh, and you can see it there.
Have to have that one again. Robo in trouble. Humanoid always the menace in the side lane. Plus 600 for the man.
And you need a man to show up. And we talked about him. He comes in. Greatest showman alive. Humanoid in the mid lane. On the Akali finally picking up that shot down. And it gives them some breathing room, but they certainly need more of that.
Hilly getting CC'd up by Seos. There's Curse of the Sad Mummy. Knows the rest of the team's here. Flash W there for Croc. Ulti out as well. Upset though. Firing away, but it's kind of a pea shooter at this point. There's enough damage there. As Croc in trouble. Still alive. Maokai man. He cannot be killed. He's too tanky, but not tanky enough as Seos flashes out. Brand's out of there as well. Lets the bullet time rip, but Wounded dashes out of the way. Now Tinones hijacks the Sejuani, or perhaps as a follow-up, but it doesn't.
The macro in the mid to late game is faltering and they throw away some of the game spot. In the top side, Humanoid just sees Robo and he just instantly recognizes that's a kill. Robo does not have any mind the kid right now and he just shreds through him. Easy shot down for Humanoid to pick up.
And this one here, Killy over a ward, trying to clear it alongside Razok, but where did Razok go? Went home.
Had that empowered recall with the Rift all across Josh. Yeah, just throws it in there. He's expecting a reset to come through from Hylissang. You can see him with the Glacial and with the 2 charges on the Q, he's able to contain him there for so long. But what's really crucial as well is that last Winter Spite on Croc, allowing Upset to get the stun into the trap, into the kill, with Humanoid finally having a move from the top lane.
That Wonder also
Had it come through with a response.
Brand's in trouble, flashed on there by Razok, but now kiting out of the way, should be okay. Now gonna get somebody to set, but there's no follow-up there. Brand's already low, just a Razok in the 1v1. Brand's gonna go down, no, he's gonna take out the enemy jungler instead. Has to get out, hiding in the Ocean Brush with the rest of the team's gonna reinforce. Wonder in there though, Humanoid diving in, but Brand gets the kill! Louder turned it back around!
And Shelly dives into second tier turret, who cares? What happened in the fight? 4 members ends up going down for Fnatic. Baron is up and available. And now they're just gonna prance right over there. Brands to lead the charge. 5 members still standing.
It's too high for you. We broke the overlay. It'll be back to worry about it, but Loud back on Baron after taking 4. Losing 1, perhaps none. We'll have to find out later because Loud rocketing ahead in this mid game.
And this is so good for timing as well. You can pick up the Baron, you can get resets through instantly. You have a Drake that's spawning in less than 1 minute. 30 seconds to be precise. Addressing earlier, Fnatic though have a move if they want to look for it. They found Upset.
Ulti stolen by Tinones, let it rip there again. Maokai covering there, but now they're counter-engaged. Humanoid the problem, but he's gonna get taken down! The peel is perfect that allowed, and here comes Robo joining in for the 5v4.
They just continue with this high-pressure gameplay from the side of Loud. Robo still fancying himself.
Let me move. All right, we're just getting in there. Brand's a little low, doesn't really want to stick around for the extended fight, but the rest of the squad wants it. Tinones straight into the backline onto Upset. Robo took out Wonder. Louder doing it, man. Croc is low, but he is not out, and this might be an ace on the table out of the Brazilians. Crowd's going insane, and they should be.
Fnatic are getting absolutely kaboomed by Loud right here, and they're going to continue with the Baron buff on the bot side. Death time still fairly low. We are 24 minutes into the game, but they're going to continue the siege on at least the inhibitor.
This is a very nice Baron power play, breaking the bottom inhib right as time runs out. 3 minutes till the soul is up. There is not much left in this game as far as Loud's concerned.
And it was Tinones back in the day that did this against the Lions, back on the infamous Kaboom roster, and he's continuing the trend at internationals for Brazil to be a thorn in the side of Europe. And my God, you have to commend so many of the members of Loud, because sure thing, it's a team effort. Great team fighting coming through. But already from the laning phase, they've been able to completely hand their Fnatic. We saw it from the top side, we saw it from the bot side. And let's have a look at this play once again.
Again, just containing Humanoid, being so patient here.
Exactly. Starts up well, they get a pick on Upset, and it actually looks a bit disastrous because they're throwing so much into Hylissang, just tanking all of it off. But once again, it's Humanoid diving in there and just getting completely picked apart by all the CC that you have. There is so much lockdown, despite there even being a Twilight Shroud, it's just not going to be enough. And the big one here is Robo, who just still fancies himself, sees so much. Seosh and Isley gets a bit too much in there, but it sets up the rest of his team to just continue with the team fight and pile it all down.
I would love to hear the comms for this particular time. I bet it was extremely decibel breaking.
And surely able to be shown on broadcast with no swear words whatsoever.
No review or censorship required. That's about what I expected, actually.
Oh, and yeah, just yell at them, give it to them, you know? Yeah, show it all, give me the... It's the thing I really miss in esports. You know, I really want people, whenever you get that solo kill, to just let them know. Get the mental edge as well. Humanoid finding an in-game edge here.
It's Rob's weak. Hello, Robo. Casually 1v1ing Humanoid there in mid lane. 6-1 and 2 on the very large Aatrox. Also has a stopwatch still unbroken. So plenty of playmaking to be had. A Dragon in a minute 25 if they even need it.
They didn't all fired up quickly. Stopped as well by the unbreakable shield there, but now they continue with the map pressure, and it's not just the map pressure that Fnatic has to be worried about, it's the fact that they don't have access to Drake right now. It's such a long walk for them. With still 1 minute to go, Loud can just look to reset, they can look to get aggressive with the bot side vision. The only thing that's going to be interesting now is how do they approach the fact that both Baron and Dragon is going to be on the map at the same time, because that throws an extra variable in, and this is where the macro will have to come in play by Loud.
And that's a great point, because again, we highlighted it. The mid game has been where we feel like Loud in particular have faltered in some of their earlier games. They certainly could have been 2-0, perhaps 3-0.
But I'll just say it right now. There is absolutely no way that Loud should be throwing this away. They've been completely manhandling Fnatic, and they should be able to continue with the amount of pressure they've forced on them so far.
And that's the impressive part, because this game, they've done it all correct. It feels like they had their early game, they've continued to extend it in the mid game. They have been just right, let's say, in continuing to apply pressure and find fights. Even now, Robo just solo zoning them away. 15 seconds to kill. Might as well push the waves as far up as you can and then fall back to the easy soul. Humanoid trying to make the play in mid. Again, Robo has the stopwatch. I said it earlier. Humanoid just straight up losing again in the 1v1. Here's Tino, but now trouble again. But Aatrox, so much healing. Humanoid into stasis, but he's just going to be killed. Make it 2 for Loud, easy as you please.
It is pure desperation for Fnatic, and Loud, they're just picking up freebies on the map. With Fnatic running into them, Loud accepting it with open arms. And now 5 members still standing. 3 members of Fnatic. This should be the beginning of the end.
We're going for the end. We don't even need it. The Ocean Soul, man. We've got a super down in bottom side. We're breaking mid. We're ignoring the in-hit. We're going for a 5v3. Fnatic in a finally behind that a loss as Loud. Looking so good here to open up day 3. Still needs a little bit more work, but again, the damage should be done. The wallet dip is there, and the crowd goes wild. Loud. Take down Fnatic.
Take it in. Take it in, boys. Loud founding themselves in a very good position in this group, suddenly sitting at a 2-2. And what a way to do it. What a team to do it against, as well, taking into the context of how dominant Fnatic was on the first 2 days. Loud now removing that page from Fnatic's book.
What are the 2 things we said? Clean up your mid game. Contain